Hello, YouTube, and everybody else that's listening. Somebody's making fun of me, so I say hello, YouTube. But hey, they listen too. But anyway, don't pay no attention to the acorns hitting the roof. It's fall. Got squirrels playing around up there, so hey, it is what it is. Welcome to another sale. And I try to have a couple of these a year. Every once in a while, there may be three, but it's just one of those things that clean out the drawers, get rid of everything that I'm not using that has been field tested or that has been a progression of a certain design. It may be prototypes A, B, C, D, or whatever. It could be that I messed up on a model grind and I changed it up and the steel was too good to throw away, so I made something else that was different. And so that's a one of. So what I've got on this one, I have some very old knives here. Matter of fact, there's probably a couple of them that is 1095 that was back during the forging days. So I think we're going to have a little something for everybody. All right. So the sale is not going to be until Friday, which is the 28th at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. So that's 6 o'clock East Coast, 5 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Mountain, 3 o'clock Pacific. Okay? And then if you live anywhere else in the world, you can figure it from there. So you've got time to watch this video. You're going to have at least 24 hours, maybe a little bit longer, to watch the video. Pick out several knives that you like and get ready for when they go live on Friday, the 28th. Okay? So there's no need to rush. You've got plenty of time to make some decisions. I highly recommend that if you're not subscribed to my website, and I don't bother you guys with anything, hardly anything at all. It's just that you have all of your information prepped and ready to go. You don't have to type in numbers. You don't have to type in anything. That is how people beat you to the payment, okay? If you have to spend time after you put it in your cart to type in your credit card numbers and addresses and all that other stuff, 3 or 4 people's already ahead of you and they're already bought it and gone because all their information is already in my website. They're subscribed to my website, okay? And it's as safe as any website in the world is safe, all right? So anyway, I doubt if any hackers wants to hack a WC Knives website, to be honest. But hey, in this day and age, you never know. But anyway, I haven't had any issues yet. So that is one thing. These will be listed as all of them before on my Shop Knives webpage. Okay. There will be a pre-listing that is on there now that you can go and look and see what the pricing is for each knife. Okay. You can't buy them. There will be another listing that'll pop up on Friday at 5 o'clock Central where you can buy it. But until then, the listing will say sold out. But it hasn't been sold out till after Friday, okay? Just want to make that clear. That listing is only there just so you can check pricing and kind of get an idea of which knife is that you're looking for and kind of hone in and get that target down, okay? So it's just to help you get prepared. And like I say, on Friday, the 28th, at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, then there will be a listing that pops up and you'll be able to purchase it at that point, okay? And again, as always, I recommend you have 3 or 4 options available or handy so that if one is gone when you get there or 2 or 3 of your priorities, then at least you may have a chance at a 4th priority or something like that. There is 35 knives. So that should be plenty of knives for a good Christmas. And I hope you guys have a very safe and happy holiday. And remember that this has nothing to do with gifts and all this other stuff that they want to force down our throats. This is about family and celebrating the birth of our Christ, okay? No matter what they want to try to change this to. Now, I know it's probably not the right season or right time of the year. I've heard all of that, so I'm not interested in that. If that's what you celebrate, then by all means celebrate it and be part of that. Okay. I personally don't, but that's just my personal belief. So anyway, without further ado, let's get going, and I'm going to give you all the specs in this video. This is going to be a very long video, so sit back, enjoy, and just look at all these goodies. Oh man, I got some good ones here. All right, okay, here we go. First one, and this is not going to be in any order at all. It's going to be the ones that I can reach and grab at that time, and there you go. Okay, this is a prototype of the Woodsman's belt knife. This is old, hand stamped. You can see the W. It's got a shadow stamp on there. That means that it's a prototype, and on the back it's AEBL with a prototype C stamp. Okay, the handle is worn. If you want to rough it up, take some 80 grit sandpaper and just start sanding. It'll rough right back up. Right now it's polished because it was well tested. Okay, it will come with just a Kydex sleeve. There is a slot here that you can put one of the mini steels, the little Victorinox mini steels in there. Will slip right in there if you want to use that. Some of the other ones may fit. You may have to take a cigarette lighter and kind of heat that up so that it expands just a little bit to get them in there. But anyway, this is a great knife. I used this for, I don't know, several weeks during the R&D of this knife. Blade on it, cutting edge is 5 inches. Overall is 9 7/8. Width at the widest part is 1 5/8 or a little less. Handle on it is 4 3/8, and it's just fills up the hand very nicely. This is green canvas micarta with copper pins. Okay, the thickness of the steel is 5/32, I believe, and it's AEBL. Okay, and again, it will come with a Kydex sleeve. It is set up for a tech lock. I think it may be a small tech lock is what it's set up for. Okay, so a small tech lock, the spacing on the eyelets is 1 inch. Large tech locks, the spacing is 1.5. Okay, so now I've got 3 field lures. Okay, 3 field lures. The first one is a prototype D. This is has a little bit different handle. This has more of the a flat handle with thumb scallops. This handle material is mesquite with black pins and a black liner. Has 1 center mosaic, a compass pin, and this is made out of AEBL. Okay, prototype D. That's what this this laser etching, this logo style means that it's prototype. It is a prototype. Okay, that took the place of the double stamp or the shadow stamp once I went to the laser. All right, so kind of give you ideas in the hand. If you like smaller handles, this is probably something that would interest you. A fantastic knife. I've wrestled with this one. I really didn't want to get rid of it, but I've been using this one with stag handles. It's thicker handles, and I just fell in love with this knife. So I knew I had to get rid of one. One of them has to go. So unfortunately, this one's it. The width on this one is 1 inch and a little over 1/8. I say 1 1/4 at the handle. Cutting edge is 4 1/8. Overall is 9 inches. The width on the handle on this one is about 3/4 of an inch. So it's very close to what a Mora would be. And this will come with a leather sheath. This is a tab so that you can slip it inside your belt or in your pocket. That's what I had it for, so I just slip it in my pocket. And this sheet has been wet formed. Okay, you hear that pop, and you can also wear it as a horizontal on your belt. It'll fit about an inch and 3/4 belt fairly easily. Okay, but anyway, fantastic knife. I really have to force myself to sell this one. Okay, but anyway, there you go. Field lure. Have another field lure. This is prototype C. Has natural canvas micarta with the center mosaic pin at the compass, black pins, black liner. This is what the actual field lure is patterned after. This is AEBL, 5/32. Just the other one was 5/32 as well. Width at the handle again is 1 1/4. I mean, that's pretty much what the base model is. The handle or the cutting edge is just under 4 1/2. Overall is 9 1/8. And again, this is a fairly small handle for those who want a small handle. You can see that it's anyway. There you go. Fantastic knife. Again, I can't use them all, so there you go. No sheath with this one. If the only ones that has a sheath is the ones I'm going to tell you that has a sheath or will be in the pictures. Okay. If it doesn't show a sheath with the knife in the picture, it doesn't have a sheath, and I'm not making one. But if you get with Randy over at StitchGearOutfitters.com and talk to him, then I'm sure that he can come up with something. A lot of the prototypes and one-ofs, you may have to send him the knife, but some of these others that are standard models, you may be able to just whip one out for you without having the knife. But anyway, the last field lure. Ooh, oh. I can hear it now. Okay, this one says first run. All right. I was making some first runs for photos and marketing. This one was a little bit narrow than what the standard model is. It's at the handle. It's about 1 1/8, which is about an 1/8 inch difference on the width of the blade. The profile and everything else is pretty much the same. It's just this part here got a little narrow on me, and so I had some stag in the cabinet. So it has a hunter orange liner and 1/8 inch natural micarta pins. Okay, and so it's a handful of knife. No sheath. Has thumb scallops in it. So again, fantastic knife. I just can't use them all. Blade on it's 4 3/8. Overall is 9 1/8. So generous portion of stag. That's a lot of stag, folks. This is Axis stag. Okay. All right. So that's all the field lures. I've got one sticky. This is prototype A. Prototype A sticky, which is made out of S35VN stainless steel. All right, premium steel, what they call premium steel. What they price is premium steel. 1/16 of an inch, very thin, very, very, very thin. Has a Kydex sheath with a tech lock, small tech lock. And the reason this one has it on there is because it's glued on there and I can't get it off. So whoever gets it will get the tech lock too. All right. Okay. So has stainless hollow pins, natural canvas micarta, 1/8 scales. Cutting edge is 2 3/8. Overall is 7 1/4. Handle is 4 1/8. That's the handle part. Then you have the little finger choil there if it's another 1/2 inch or so. But anyway, a great little skinning knife. Trappers, here you go. Game hunters, the caping knife. Coon hunters, small, anybody that cuts, matter of fact, you could do a whitetail with that very easily. But anyway, there you go. Width on it at the belly part is 1 inch. Okay. Little kydex sleeve, throw it in your pack or on your belt, and away you go. Okay, I've got one prototype slick. There we go. Prototype slick. This one made out of natural micarta scales with stainless hollow pins. 1/8 inch scales made out of, what is that? S35VN. Okay, 1/8 inch stock. At the tooth, just under 1 inch. Cutting edge is about 3 1/4, a little less. Overall is 6 7/8. Let's call it that. And it's a great little knife. Great little knife. Again, it will come with a kydex sleeve with a tech lock that I can't get off. So there you go. You get a tech lock with it. Okay. That's all of that. Now I've got 2 Master Sportsmans. And we're still going to start those this month. It may be the end of November, but we're going to start them, okay? As promised. Okay, Nitro V, and it's been used. It has some little scuff marks from the kydex sheath. All of these has got kydex, folks. There will probably be scuff marks on it. Because, I mean, that's just kydex. Kydex does that. I don't care who makes it. Because when you pull it in and out of the sheath, you're not going to hit it perfect every time. You're going to scratch the sides of it. All right. Okay. Nitro V. I think this may be 1/8 inch Nitro V. The handle is camo sure touch with orange pins and an orange liner. Kind of a thick orange liner. It's not quite 1/8 inch. It's just under 1/8 inch. It's thicker than 1/16 though. So anyway. Specs on this at the tooth is 1 1/8 inch. Cutting edge is 4 1/8 inch. Overall is 8 and let's say 5/8. Handle is 4 3/8. Okay, and it will come with the kydex sheath or sleeve with a tech lock. Okay, there you go. Okay, the last Sportsman is a first run. It was made for marketing photos. This one is has a blackwood, African blackwood scales with lime green pins and a liner. Okay, made from AEBL. And again, this blade has scuff marks because it has a kydex sheath with it. 1/8 inch AEBL. This is the kydex sleeve. Okay, the kydex sleeve's a little dirty because it's been used. Not abused, but it's been tested. Okay, we'll call it tested. Specs on this one, like I say, it's AEBL. At the tooth, it's just under 1 1/8. 4 inch cutting edge. 8 and 5/8 overall. Handle is 4 3/8. This one has a fairly sized handle on it, so if you want something a little bit thicker, this is probably a good knife for you. Okay. All right, that's all of the Master Sportsmans. I've got one prototype hunter-gatherer, prototype B, and you can tell by the handle that it was tested. Handle could take some scrubbing up, but hey, maybe you want that used look. Anyway, black micarta, canvas micarta with brass pins, is made from Nitro V, 5/32 Nitro V. At the tooth, it is 1 7/8. Cutting edge is 6 1/4. Overall, past the extended pommel is 13 1/4. The 5-position handle is 6 inches. That means that you can grab it there, 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 or there. Okay, how many was that? 4 or 5. It will have the little, I'll leave the little stag decorative thing there. Hunter-gatherer. Man, as far as a camp knife, I think that this hunter-gatherer is the bomb. I really do. You just got to watch your hands because you don't want to get on that. But anyway, it will come with a Kydex sheath with a leather cross draw. Okay? Just like so. All right. Okay, I've got one little master carver. This is prototype A. Okay, prototype A. And you can see how it was taken from an 1/8 inch and it was narrowed down to a very thin blade where that full flat portion is. Okay. Prototype A, black canvas micarta with aluminum pins, and it will come with a little Kydex sleeve. Okay, so you wear it as a neck knife in your pocket, throw it in your carving kit, however you want to do it. Give you some specs on it. Has little thumb scallops on it right there. This is a great little carving knife. It really is. 2 1/4 cutting edge. Overall is 6, just under 6 1/4. Just under 6 1/4. Okay. Even though it's a small knife, it still fills up my hand very nicely. Very controllable. I love this little carving knife. I really did. Again, I'm using the one that's got the brown handles, so this one has to go. But anyway, great little whittler carving knife. All right, now this knife is a very old knife. This is the start of the Woodsman's Classic. Anybody that's familiar with that, I was playing around with this knife. If you watch videos, when I harvested that deer at the Massey farm several years ago, this is the one that I used for field dressing that deer. And it's just a Saber grind, and the cutting edge is still like probably around 13 degrees on either side, so it's like a scalpel. But whoever gets this knife is going to have to really watch this part right here, okay? Because you move your hand up there, you're going to get into that edge real easy. So this is not one I recommend for a beginner or someone that's not very comfortable with knives. It will come with a sleeve, a Kydex sleeve, black Kydex sleeve with brass eyelets. Has copper pins and a center mosaic. This knife has been well tested, folks, and it shows it. It's 01 tool steel, and you can see it's starting to patina. But it's well tested. It is a fantastic knife. It's just that I can't use them all. Okay. All right. Width of the blade is a little over 1 inch, just under 1 1/8 inches. Cutting edge is 4 inches. Overall is 8 7/8, let's call it, at the extended pommel. It doesn't have thumb scallops, but has a very good slope there for a lot of your bushcraft tasks and things. Fantastic knife. It really is. Okay, I have a prototype. This is one of the prototypes. This is B when I was doing the Master Bushman. This one is made out of 3V. See the V in the Texas. This has the old Texas stamp, and it has a shadow stamp, hand stamp. See where the indentation is in the blade? That means that it was done with a hand stamp, pressure stamp. Prototype B. This is pre-laser, okay? So this one is at least a couple of years old. Handle is walnut. Liners is that burgundy liner with a burgundy red pins. Okay, you see that? And a lot of these knives, if you see the little pin marks here, that means that I did a follow-up Rockwell harness before I placed these knives on sale, just to make sure that they were within those tolerances. And any of the high carbon steels like 01, 1095, 3V is a high carbon steel. I keep those between 50, 58, 59, some may hit 60, but they're under 60 somewhere in there, okay? So I just want to make sure that it fell within there. And sometimes I did it 2 or 3 times just to make sure. So if you see a little dot on the back of it, that's what they're for, okay? That's what happened to the knife. All right, and it's the reason it's there most of the time when I'm testing them before handles is the test marks are up in here, or it's right there where the grinds will be, and it takes it out. So if you see it on the blade, it means that it was tested after the grind and handle was set. All right, okay. The cutting edge is 3 3/4. Overall is 9 inches. Handle is 4 3/4. A very generous handle. Again, black walnut. Just a great knife. So there you have it. Will come with a Kydex sleeve. There you go. Okay. Now here's the little fun knife. I say little. This one's made out of 3/16 3V. This is the one you may have seen the video, the little video short of me throwing this and sticking it into a tree. It's well balanced. It really is. So anyway, 3V, CPM 3V, and it's just a prototype. No name. Handle is black canvas micarta with black pins. It's just a fun knife. It actually will surprise you on Bushcraft Test. I was going to do some videos, but I've got so many models out now, so kind of let this one go unless somebody really, well, anyway. Somebody out there is going to enjoy this knife. So, give you some specs on it. At the widest part is just under 2 inches. The cutting edge is 5 5/8. Overall is 11 inches. That includes this little nut crusher or bone crusher, whatever you want to call that right there, okay? It comes down to a semi-point. So this is almost considered a I don't know, tactical knife maybe, survival knife if you will. It's a very tough knife. Has that faceted tip. So there you go. No sheath. All right, now I've got prototype A of the Sportsman, the original Sportsman. Okay, and this is the knife that was patterned after the Canadian belt knife, and it just took my take on it. This is these handles is walnut. Well, I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's synthetic walnut. I can't think of the name of them. It'll probably be on the listing though. With natural 1/8 inch natural linen micarta liners, brass pins, 1/8 inch brass pins, made out of AEBL. This is when I started playing around with AEBL. This is probably the first knife I made in AEBL. Has the shadow stamp, hand stamp, prototype A. If you saw pictures, I actually butchered a wild hog, wild pig, with this knife. I put some pictures of it up on my social media. Man, I'm trying to remember how long ago that's been. That has to be 4 or 5 years ago. Okay, but give you some specs on this one. This one is the very first Sportsman knife. 4 1/4 cutting edge. Overall is 9 3/8. Handle is 4¼ fills up the hand quite nicely. Okay, man, that bugs me. I can't think of the name of that. Diamond wood. I knew I'd think of it's diamond wood. So anyway, it's that resinous synthetic wood that is tough as nails. But anyway, beautiful stuff. This will have 2 different sheaths with it. It has a leather cross draw horizontal carry type thing. Okay, and it also has a hybrid kydex, which is it's a red, I don't know what you call that, but anyway, it's a red pattern sheath that has a ferro rod loop. It has a little pouch on it that has the SE10. That's just some fastening screws that's in there, so you can put a little survival kit on there if you want. Then the back of it, it has these screws on there that you could take out. You can carry this horizontal, or you can carry it as a regular belt knife, or you can carry it as a dangler. Okay, so it's just a multi-carry kydex sheath. And also with it, we'll have this little sharpening steel. This is the Sheffield sharpening steel. I'll include that in there. So anyway, there's a lot going on with this knife. It will be a fantastic knife for somebody. Okay. Now this one is a prototype A. It has a high saber into a hollow, and this is a knife that Mom has used for several years in the leather shop. She loved this knife cutting leather, which we don't do leather anymore, so she allowed this knife to be sold. So I took some convincing, but anyway, she said, yeah, go ahead and sell it. Let somebody else use it and enjoy it. The old Texas stamp has a E in there, so that means it's AEBL. Okay. Handle is red Sure Touch with red G10 pins. Or burgundy. I think that's really called burgundy. It's not really red. They call it red, but it's not red. It's burgundy. All right. Very comfortable knife. Width on this knife is about 1.25 inches. The cutting edge is 3 and just under 7/8. Overall is just under 9 inches. Okay. Great knife. No sheath, just a great knife. Okay, now let's talk about the Yakut. And several years ago, I started exploring my version of the Yakut. Now, the Yakut knife has a fuller on the backside, and it's forged. It's forged in the fuller. I don't forge anymore, so in order to get that in there, I was doing hollow grinds. So here's the 2 prototypes that I was playing around with that you saw several videos on this. And if you go back through the history, you'll be able to see it. Probably just do a YouTube search for WC Knives Yakut, something like that, and it'll pop up. This is what started eventually it became the North Star, I think is what it's called, the model that's sold through Northern Woodsman Elite Store. Okay, so I've got 2 of those. I've got a B model and I've got a model. Okay, now this one is just natural canvas micarta that's turned brown with age. Has aluminum pins, 3/16. I think this is 01. I'm pretty sure it's 01. And what it is a hollow on one side and a convex on the other. Okay, a lot of knife that'll fill up your hand very nicely. Okay. The cutting edge or the blade on this one is 5 inches. Overall is 9 5/8. Handle length is 4 and just under a half. So say 4 3/8. The width on this blade is 1 and just over 3 3/8. Okay. So that's model A. Okay, we're going to call that prototype A, Yakut. All right. Now here's prototype B, which is again 01, and it's on the other side. This one is a Saber, kind of a blended Saber type grind with a hollow on the other side. Okay. Now, if you want something to do feathers and you're right-handed, this one is a knife for you. Okay. But this one here, if you're left-handed, then it does feathers very well. But if you're right-handed, it'll dig in, and I mean, it'll hog off some wood. It's hard to control. It slices so well. But anyway, fantastic knife. I really love playing around with this stuff. This was a lot of fun. Cutting edge is 4 3/4. Width on it is 1 and just under a half. Handle is 9 and 3/4. The handle is OD green canvas micarta, well polished. Again, if you want some texture back in it, get you some 80 grit sandpaper and just hand sand it, and it'll come right back. If you want to put some oil in it, then you could oil the handle again to get it. But anyway, that's what I like about micarta. It's just tough as nails, and it just takes a beating and keeps on ticking. But anyway, this one will come with a sheath. This is a leather cross draw, right-handed cross draw. Has a little loop here for a little mini steel. If you have the little mini steel, the little Victorinox mini steel, or the other models, I think Sheffield is coming out with one that is a small one like the Victorinox did. Hard to get Victorinox nowadays. But anyway, it has a leather sheath with it. Heavy grade leather. I think this is about 10-ounce leather. So well oiled. Anyway, great knife. Okay, here's one that I messed up on the grind. This was one of the drops that was sold through JB Caldwell's knives, and I messed up the grind, so I had to change it. It's got it too narrow. But anyway, just a one of, has walnut handles, red liner, brass pins, 01 tool steel with a Saber grind, 5-inch cutting edge. Overall is 10 1/4. Okay, width on the blade is 1 inch. Okay, now I've got several of the Master Woodsman style knives. Some of these are early when we was playing around with different grinds and different blade shapes. A lot of these are very narrow, and I'll show you these right here. And the handle, they've been sitting around and the handles are dirty, but you can scrub those up. I mean, you know, some people may like a dirty handle, but see how narrow they are. I don't recommend beating on these knives, folks, because I mean that's just not enough steel there to be beating on it. So anyway, this one is AEBL. It is 5/32 AEBL. A lot of handle. Cutting edge is 6 inches. Overall, including the extended pommel, is 11 1/4. At the widest part is 1 3/8. At the narrow part is 1 inch. Okay. Be a great bushcraft, field dressing, game prep knife, kitchen prep. But again, I don't recommend beating on these knives. I don't recommend beating on any knife, really, to be honest with you. But especially these, because there's just not enough steel there to be beating on it like that. Here's another one. Again, both of these are black canvas micarta with brass pins. This one is 01 tool steel. See the 01. Some specs on it. 6-inch cutting edge, 11 1/4 overall. Handle is 4 5/8. Narrow part is 1 inch. Widest part is 1 3/8. Okay. 01 5/30 seconds. Here's one that's a little bit wider. This one is 01. Again, it's the Master Woodsman style prototypes. This one is black canvas micarta with aluminum pins, or maybe stainless. That's stainless, with stainless pins. Cutting edge is 6 inches, a little over 6 inches. Overall is 11 1/4. Width on the blade, widest part is 1 1/2 inches. Narrow part is 1 1/4 inches. Okay, now I've got two Master Woodsman's Model 2s. Okay, and this is new old stock. This is old stock that I had hanging on the wall. I just threw a handle on it and called it good. But this is 01 tool steel. Handle is black G10 with black G10 pins. Oh, allergies. Cutting edge is 6 inches. Width is 1 1/2 at the little belly. The narrow part is 1 1/4. Overall is 11 3/8, including the extended pommel. Okay, Master Woodsman Model 2, new old stock. All these have been hand stamped. Okay, pre-laser. Here's one with black and green, OD green, G10, 01 again. Master Woodsman Model 2, 6 inch cutting edge, 11 1/4, a little over. Overall handle is 4 3/8. The narrow part is 1 1/4. Widest part is just under 1 1/2. It's a lot of knife, folks. A lot of knife. Okay. All right. Now here's one that I had to make myself get rid of. And this one comes with a Kydex sheath, Coyote's Kydex sheath with a cross draw leather strap. All right. If you saw the Massey Farm Harvest, you saw me using two knives. One of those was a 3V Master Woodsman. I call it a Master Woodsman. That's again very early in the Master Woodsman R&D phase. And the other one was this one. This one is 01 tool steel, 5/30 seconds, and I love that shape. Matter of fact, this shape became the Master Hunter, if you've seen that model. This handle is black G10 with orange G10 liners and stainless steel pins. Look at that belly. Whew, look at that tip, man. When we were skinning that deer, actually this knife outperformed that 3B knife. I preferred this knife, and I kind of said that in the video if you listen carefully. But this knife is just a phenomenal knife. Holds at the edge like you wouldn't believe. I love this knife, but it's time to move on to somebody that's going to love it as much as I did. Again, it's a very narrow knife. It's got there's a lot of sweet spot there for carving. I used this on camp a few times carving spoons. Matter of fact, I think I carved a spoon one time on video. I carved a knife that looked like this knife. So I don't know if I got that on video or if it's just a social media post. But anyway, this knife, I've used this knife a lot. But again, narrow in here, and I do not recommend batoning this knife unless you can just baton it with your hand. If you can beat on it with your hand, then it'll be all right. But don't use club, folks. Don't use a club. All right. At the narrow part is 7/8. At the widest part is 1 1/4. Cutting edge is, swap hands here. Cutting edge is 5 1/2. Overall is just under 11 inches. That includes the extended pommel. And the blade will be scuffed because it has a Kydex sheath with it. Okay, so there you go. This is a salvage. I was doing a Model 1 and I messed the grind up, so I salvaged it. And it's 01 tool steel, has a kind of a gentle sweep of a scandi into a high Saber grind. 5/32 01. Natural canvas micarta scales. Cutting edge is 6 inches. Overall is just under 11. Handle is 4.5. Narrow part is just over an inch. Widest part at the belly is 1 and just over a quarter. Okay. Well, you're talking about a game prep knife, man. Mule deer, elk, buffalo, elephants. That would be the ticket right there. No sheath. Okay, I've got 2 of the the Taskmaster. Here is prototype A that you've seen in videos several times. Nitro V. Great knife. This is, I think this is brown micarta. I don't think this is natural. I think it's brown micarta with that kind of burgundy G10 liners and pins. And it will come with a Kydex sleeve and a tech lock. Again, because I can't get the tech lock off. But anyway, has a tech lock. And this comes with a Kydex sleeve, so it will have some scuff marks on the blade. Alright, let's go to some specs. Again, a heavy 1/8 inch Nitro V. Cutting edge is 3.5. Overall is 7 7/8. Okay, width on the blade at the tooth is 7/8. And the width of the handle is 3/4. The thickness of it. Just enough to fill your hand up. A great multitask knife right there. Fantastic EDC. Okay, that is prototype A. Now I have a model or a first run Taskmaster. This is dark rosewood with black pins and a thin black liner. Okay, made out of AEBL, 1/8 inch AEBL. At the tooth, it is just under 1 inch, just over 7/8 of an inch. Cutting edge is 3.5. Overall is 7 7/8. Okay, the width or the thickness of the handle is about 7/8 of an inch. Again, fills up the hand quite nicely. No sheath. Okay, no sheath. All right, here's one that is made out of 01. This is old stock. This is coil wood with 1/8 inch black liners and black pins. See, it has the old hand stamp. Old hand stamp has a high blended Saber grind, and it's like a razor blade. Some of those knives just, I mean, they just outperform your expectations. Now, this one does have the blade on it is just, you have to really look at it, but it's just slightly off center. Okay, but I mean, the performance of it is just, you can't tell it. But anyway, talking about a drop point skinner, man, there you go. 1 inch at the belly and just under 1 inch at the handle. Cutting edge is 3.5. Overall is 8.5. The thickness of the handle on this one is like 7/8. Most of the handles is around that, 7/8 to an inch, something like that. Okay, now I've got some prototypes that I've been playing around with as far as Master sloyd knives. I'm still probably going to go back to it, but these are not, I don't think I've got there yet. But this one is made out of AEBL, and you see the prototype stamp. Handle is burl walnut with red pins and a red liner. The specs on this one is the cutting edge is 3 1/4. Width at the tooth is 3/4. Overall is 7 3/8. And it's just a great little whittle knife, little carving knife, sloyd, if you will. All right, I got that one. Got this one's in natural. It's a very thick handle, natural with thumb scallops, black pins, no liner. This one's pretty thick. This is almost an inch. Well, it's 7/8, so it just feels boxy and square. So if you like a bigger handle, this one's yours. Blade on this one, the cutting edge is 4 inches. At the tooth is 7/8. This one's made out of 1/16 Nitro V. So, and overall is 8 and just under 1/4. Handle is 4 1/4. Okay. And then the last one, not last one, but the last Master Sloyd is a design that has African blackwood. The pins are red oak pins with a yellow or gold liner. Has thumb scallops. This is made out of AEBL, 1/8 inch AEBL. Blade on it is just under 4 inches, let's say 3 7/8. Tooth is at the widest at the tooth is just over 7/8. Overall is 8 3/8. Yeah, this one has kind of got a boat tail shaped handle to it. Has some pinch points up here for you control. Fantastic little knife, but again, I've got a bunch of fantastic little knives. So we're going to let that one go. All right, now this one is just a red oak sloyd knife. This is 01. This is one I had in my carving kit for a long time. Just a scandi grind sloyd knife, nothing special. The red oak right here, it tried to split on me, so I had to do a little repair on it. It's got some acrylic in there, and so it shouldn't be a problem, but again, it's warranted if something does happen to it. These little small knives like this, folks, don't be beating on them, okay? Let's use a little common sense with it. This one is 1/16 01 tool steel. And again, these little carving knives, the spines on them are rounded. I did not 90 degree spines. Now these knives are the Master Sloyd prototypes. What I did was this up here is 90 degrees, about 1/2 inch or so at the tip, but the rest of it is rounded. I found that works best carving for me. So again, the spines are rounded here so that you can do those push cuts comfortably, but you still have that tip right there to scrape bark or wood or fine fluff or tinder, or you can even spark a ferro rod with that very tip of there. And all three of these sloyd knives are that way. The rest of them, all the other knives, has a 90 degree spine like you would expect on a knife, except for like what I would consider a sloyd or a carving knife. Okay, this little carver here, the spine is rounded. It doesn't have any round or any 90 degree at all on it. It's all rounded. Okay, everything else is 90 degree. Okay, I've got one little small knife here. This one's made out of either 35 VN, I can't remember, one of the premium steels. It may be 154. I'm not sure. But anyway, the stamp on it was messed up, so I did a laser over it. But I mean, it's just a flexible little knife. It's like a laser. This is like a flexible razor blade. Handle on it is G10, black G10, with natural linen micarta liners and natural linen micarta pins. Fills up the hand very nicely. It's just a phenomenal little carving knife. I think this is the knife that I used in the video. When does carving become whittling or something, or when does whittling become carving? Something like that. I was on deer camp several years ago, and it was raining and I was cold, and so I was sitting by the fire and I was carving, and I carved several figurines and stuff. So anyway, this one, the cutting edge is 2 and let's say 3/4. Overall is 6 3/4. Handle is 3 7/8. The width or the thickness of the handle is let's say 7/8. Now this one is a very thin handle. This one, I think it's like a 3/32, but it has a distal taper to a very fine point. Very fine point. So if you're looking for a razor blade, this is it. Hear that ring? Man, what a little knife. Okay, and the last one is a very old knife. This one was forged. This was back when I was forging. This is probably, well, I know this is 1095 steel. I maybe 6, 7 years old. It has a blended Saber rind on it, just a little drop point, just enough. I mean, it's just a small craft knife, hunting knife. Look at that belly on that. Man, that would do some damage on a whitetail. Has olive green canvas micarta with a black micarta on the back. This is kind of dirty and well used, but you can see that they don't line up very nicely. This was my first attempt, and only attempt actually, to do a multi. I just never went back to it, but anyway, it doesn't line up well. But anyway, it's kind of off a little bit, if you can see that. Has a coyote liner, I think, with brass pins. But anyway, it's a great little knife. It needs to go to somebody who's going to use it. Okay, so that's all of them. That's all 35 of them. Thank you guys for all your support. You guys are awesome. I couldn't ask for better followers or customer base. You guys are family. You're family. WC family. That's what you are. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. Because without you, there would not be a WC Knives. Well, it might be a WC Knives, but it would just be me. I would just be building them for myself, really. But actually, I do. It's just that a lot of people like them too. So, but anyway, we wouldn't be making as many. Let's put it that way. And I wouldn't be doing this as a living. And so, I appreciate you. I really do. Allow me to live my dream. So, go on over to my website, wcknives.com. Up at the top right corner, there's some hash marks. Click on that. Menu will drop down. Go to Shop Knives webpage, and you'll see a listing with these knives on there. And again, it's going to say sold out until Friday, the 28th at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. Then a new listing will pop up, and you can purchase them at that point. Okay, but at least you can look at them and see what they're going to look like on the listing, and see what the names are going to be, what the pricing is. But anyway, wish you all the best. Hope you get what you want. And until the next one, you guys get in the backyard, whittle on a stick. Be sure and take a child with you, get the opportunity. And don't forget those plenty of Band-Aids and lots of knives. We'll catch you again very soon.